students, welcome back to my class. In the series of learning programming in C, in the previous video, we discussed about void pointer. Well, in today's video, we will discuss about null pointer. So those who are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon so that you can get the notification of all the new videos. So let us understand what actually this null pointer is. We will see practically how this null pointer is going to work, and we will understand why we require this null pointer. Watch the video till the end. Do not skip the video. And if you like the video, please click on the like button and share the video to all your friends. Null pointer. In the previous video, we discussed about void pointer. Void pointer is a type, whereas null pointer is a value. So if you get a Viva question or some interview question like what is the difference between void pointer and null pointer? Void pointer is a type of the pointer, that is, it's a data type. But null pointer is a value, right? So null pointer is a special value that indicates that the pointer does not point to any valid memory address. So if the pointer is not pointing to any location, then I need to set that value to null. Then the compiler understands that it is not pointing to any location. So to indicate that it is not pointing to any location, I need to say that it is pointing to null. So null is a value that tells the compiler that it is not pointing to any memory location. It is represented by the constant null. So null is a value. And I can say it is indicating the value 0 also. Null pointer can be used to initialize a pointer variable when the memory address which is to be assigned is unknown. So if I don't know what memory I am going to get, then I simply assign the pointer variable to null. So if it is pointing to null, it indicates that it is not pointing to any location. If it is not pointing to null, in the sense it may have some location. So if I don't know what memory I am going to get into the pointer, if it is not known to me, then I'll make that pointer, I'll initialize that pointer to null. So how to initialize that? We'll see the example program. So let us say we have a pointer variable. So as soon as we declare a pointer variable, it will be pointing to some location. Say this pointer variable, say it may point to some location. So this PTR will be pointing to some location. And if I try to access the value in that location, it is very dangerous. Because that free memory or that memory itself is not free. Maybe that memory is occupied by the operating system files. And if I try to access that, it is very dangerous. So what I need to do, I have to make the pointer to null so that it indicates the compiler that it is not pointing to any location. So what I need to do, I have to initialize this pointer to null. So when it is initialized to null, then it will not point to any location. It will be having that value null. Null in the sense it will have the value 0. Null means it will have the value 0. So when I initialize the value to null, it says it is not pointing to any memory location. So if I just say if PTR equals to null, I can put a message printf not pointing to any memory address. Else printf it is having an address. So this type of initialization, and we need to check with this equality operator, especially in data structure programs. When we try to allocate the memory dynamically. So what we do, we use the character pointer and we try to allocate the memory. And if memory is not allocated, how do we check that? We check that with the value null. So for example, what we can do, so we have an integer pointer and we will try to allocate the memory dynamically. So we have something called as dynamic memory allocation, where we can allocate the memory during runtime with the help of some functions like calloc and malloc. Well, we will have separate video to understand with this dynamic memory allocation. We will know how to allocate memory with calloc and malloc. So this is just the method to allocate the memory. So what the malloc function will do, it is going to allocate the memory for the size of integer type and typecast that to integer pointer and that address. So malloc is going to allocate memory from free store. So it is going to fetch some free memory, and that address, the starting address, will be held into the pointer if you get the memory. Say assume you have got the memory. You have got the memory somewhere in the location, say 100. So this 100, so totally I need to get 2 bytes of memory. So I'll get this base address. So this address will be stored in PTR. So what this pointer variable PTR will hold, it will point to the location that what the malloc has given. So if I want to check whether that malloc has allocated memory or not, I need to put a statement to check if PTR equals to null, then I can just put a message printf memory not allocated, else printf memory is allocated. So now what this malloc function will do, it is going to allocate the memory, say of integer type, that is 2 bytes of data with reference to 16-bit machine, and store that address to the pointer. So now pointer is getting some location. So this pointer is pointing to this location. Just assume you have got the memory. Now I need to check whether I have got the memory or not, so that I can proceed with the next process. So I just check with the equality operator if pointer equals to null. Null means what? Null is a value. Means null indicates that it is not pointing to any location. Is PTR equals to null? No. It is pointing to some location. I have got the memory. So if it is equal to null, then it says memory not allocated. If not, I say memory is allocated. So here, with reference to this, let us assume PTR is pointing to 100. So is PTR equals to null? No. I'll come to else. I say memory is allocated. So whenever we deal with data structure programs, whenever we deal with dynamic memory allocation, we go with this null so that we can effectively utilize this pointer and check whether that pointer is pointing to some location or not. If it is not pointing to any location, memory location, then I have to make that as null. So null is a value so that I can say it is not pointing to any memory address. So let us see this practically. So let us understand how this null pointer is going to work with an example program. So let us have an integer pointer. Then I'll say printf %d then print the value in PTR. So let us see what we can have in PTR. Okay, so I am creating a pointer variable, then I am saying print the value or just print PTR. PTR means when a pointer variable is created, it will be pointing to some or the other location. So when I say print PTR, it has to point to some junk location. Okay, save this, run the program. See. So let me clear the output screen so that you can understand clearly what is the exact output. Execute now. See. So it is pointing to some, look at this answer. It is pointing to some location. And if I try to print the address in that location, what happens? So what I'll do now, I'll say printf %d value at the location. So some junk value, of course, I am going to get. When I create a pointer variable, it will be pointing to some junk address. When I say value at that junk address, some junk value you are going to get. Save this. Clear the screen here. Now I'll say run. See, let me put new line here, then you can make out. Save this. Clear the screen. Execute the program. See. So it is saying the junk address is 4194432 and some value in that junk address. So this is how when a pointer variable is created, it will be pointing to some junk address. Now what I'll do, I'll make this pointer to point to null. Now I'll say print ptr. So when I say store the value null into the pointer variable ptr, it will be holding integer value 0. Value at that, see when I am pointing to null, what value I should get? That is nothing. So sometimes your program will not react to that particular statement. So first what I'll do, let me comment this statement. I'll try to print only the ptr value. It should give 0. Clear this. We remove this comment. As I said, when the pointer is pointing to null, the pointer value will be 0. That is what I got here. It is 0. Now I'll say try to print the value in that location. I'm pointing the pointer to null. Then when it is not pointing, null means it is not pointing to any location. Then when I say asterisk ptr, it will not react properly. So save this now. Let us see what will be the message. Execute the program. See. Yeah, see, it says null pointer has stopped working. That is, your program has stopped working. So let me comment this now. Or what we'll do before we print this, let us try to allocate the memory for ptr. I'll say ptr equal to, let me allocate through malloc function. We will understand what actually this malloc function is in the next coming class. So I say integer pointer malloc, then create a memory for the size of int. For the size of int, create the memory. So when I am using the malloc function, we need to include the header file hash include standard library.h. So I'll say printf. First let us see ptr. So when I say ptr equal to int asterisk malloc, I am trying to allocate the memory for the size of integer, and I am typecasting to integer pointer so that it can point to that location. So I should get some address, right? Now that address I am going to print now. Then I'll say if ptr equals to null, then I should have a message saying that memory not allocated. Else printf memory allocated. So here what I am doing, I am trying to allocate the memory for ptr. If I get the memory allocation, then I should print that address. So I am just checking if that ptr equals to null, then you say it is memory not allocated. If not means memory is allocated, then what I'll do, I'll try to store some value into that location. The next line, what I'll do, so let me execute this first. Say Control S, execute this. See here, let me clear the screen. See, now execute the program. See, it is saying initially it was 0. So PTR equal to null means print that PTR value means it is 0. Then I say I am allocating the memory, print that address. So some memory allocation I have got. So memory is allocated. So that message, PTR equal to null? No, it is not equal to null. Some memory has been allocated. See, I have got the address. So I say memory allocated. Now what I'll do, I'll try to store some value into that location, 897. Then I say printf %d asterisk ptr. Save this, clear the screen so that you'll get complete message. You can understand the output clearly. See, the first one, PTR equal to null, so print that PTR means it is printing 0. So my answer is 0. Then I say I am allocating the memory through malloc function. So some address I'm going to point. So PTR is pointing to some location. So that location I'm printing, that memory address. So now I'm checking, is that PTR equal to null? If it is equal to null, then I should say memory not allocated. If not, I should say memory allocated. Let me have new line here. Then it will come to this. I'll say asterisk PTR equal to 897. Print that value. So I got 897. Right. Save this. Execute the program. See. So we have got the output 0. This is what the complete output that what we have got. So hope you have understood with this program. That's all for today's video. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.